Ahoy and welcome back. My name is Frogheim, but you can call me Perm. Today I would like to talk about something that is very dear to my heart within the video game space, and that is The Legend of Zelda. It is my all-time favorite video game franchise, and so I can't pass up the opportunity to dive into today's topic, which is the next game in the series. We don't know anything about it so far. In fact, there has been no announcement, no hints as far as I know, just nothing. The next thing on the horizon is the Ocarina of Time remake, which hopefully hits a home run, but remakes do have a pretty mixed track record, so I guess we'll just have to see about that. But today I don't want to talk about that game and instead look further and discuss what could be in store for the next mainline game in the series. The two previous installments, namely Breath of the Wild, which was a huge success for its daring attempt at introducing a completely open world experience to the series, and its sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, which elevated everything that Breath of the Wild brought into existence and made the two into a masterpiece. Having a completely open world with the world layering that the sequel provided just gave the player the perfect adventuring experience, which is exactly what The Legend of Zelda is all about. Without Tears of the Kingdom, it would have been a pretty half-baked experience, but because they went above and beyond with that game, it took all of the flawed parts of the predecessor and perfected them, which has made me appreciate Breath of the Wild for the crazy stunt that it was initially. Anyway, the reason I bring this up is after having such a huge open world experience for the past two games, where do we go from here? It's hard to imagine going backwards into a completely linear adventure again. It's a similar issue we face if they were to ever make another Super Smash Bros. Game. You can't just compress the roster too much after having a game like Ultimate. So I think the next Legend of Zelda game has to keep that in mind. If you do somehow go backwards, you have to at least keep what made these two games so successful. Okay, let's focus on the open world. Do we keep it? I think we do, but I also think there has to be an understanding that a lot of people don't just want to see another Breath of the Wild clone, so something new has to happen. In my personal opinion, I think we gotta keep things grounded, and what I mean by that is that I want to have a big open world to explore. You should be able to go wherever you want to an extent, but I think what the past two games did, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it because I really do like these games. However, I think the main storyline was a little too open. Moving forward, I personally believe it should go back to being more linear, even if I'm able to travel wherever I want. I also want the narrative to push me in a specific direction and make the storytelling more focused as it has been in the past. I think what it comes down to for me is I want the best of both worlds, traditional and modern elements in the game. Give me the modern take on exploration while still having the traditional core. So we get the nostalgic feeling of going through very traditional puzzle-filled dungeons, fighting bosses that grow increasingly more difficult as the game progresses. However, we also get the modern take on exploration. You want to go somewhere? Feel free. Nothing really bars you from going, but maybe there are hurdles. For example, imagine there's another cold area in the game, but you don't actually get any protection from that until you beat a particular part of the game, which would make this area significantly easier to traverse. You can still go there though, if you so wish. The only thing is, you're not going to have access to the main story part of that area. But this is just my opinion. I'm not gonna sit here and act as if this is a perfect idea. I just hope we get to see a game where we get more of a balanced mixture between the traditional and modern elements. With that said, let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me, or do you want them to continue exploring deeper into the open world storytelling? Leave a comment down below and subscribe if you want to see more discussions like this, whether it be video games, anime, or manga related. This has been Frogheim, and I'll see you next time.